I am chess grandmaster Alexandra Kosteniuk. Dear chess friends, today I will comment for you my recent game against French women's champion Sophie Milliet, which I played on the beautiful island of Corsica last week. I played with black and I opted for a very risky opening. After Sophie played e4, I decided to play d5, which is a Scandinavian defense. I don't usually play Scandinavian defense, but since it's a rapid game, I decided to try it anyway. Sophie replied e takes d5, I took queen takes d5, knight c3, and here I opted for queen to d6, the line that I prepared at home. Other alternatives are queen to a5 or queen to d8. After queen d6, Sophie replied d4, knight f6, knight f3, c6, and here Sophie played knight e5, which actually is a theoretical line. It's the main theoretical line of this variation. Of course, white has other choices such as g3, but knight e5 is the most concrete way when white tries to prove that this setup of black is not correct. After knight e5, I played knight b to d7 because I don't want to leave the white's knight on e5. I want to exchange it. And Sophie replied bishop f4. The other possible way here for white to play is knight to c4, with the idea to play after queen c7, queen to f3, then bishop to f4 and long side castle. It's also very interesting. I had a chance to analyze it at home, but bishop f4 is also another very interesting line, since after knight d5, this move I played during our game, Sophie took on d5 with the knight, knight takes d5, queen takes d5. Sophie played bishop e2, and it's a very interesting move because white sacrifices the pawn on g2 in order to get the initiative, since after knight takes e5, bishop takes e5, black almost has to take on g2, otherwise they will end up in a position with the equal amount of material and will suffer for nothing. So I took the pawn on g2, and here after bishop f3, queen to g6, Sophie played a very strong move, which is queen e2. Actually, this position before queen e2 happened in the game between Vishwanathan Anand and Sergei Tivikov in the chorus tournament of 2006. Actually, Tivikov plays this line very often with black, and Anand, instead of queen to e2, played d5. Tivikov replied with bishop g4. The main idea of black in this position, in this variation, is to trade the light-squared bishops. If black manages to do so, he doesn't have any problem. So after d5, bishop g4, white cannot take on g4, since after queen e4 check, he will lose the rook on h1. And thus Tivikov was able to trade these bishops. So Sophie played queen to e2, which is a very strong move, since it doesn't allow the bishop g4 move. But I insisted on this idea and played h5. Again, black wants to play bishop g4. And here Sophie played another strong move, which is h3. In the recent game of the European Championship in Budva in 2009, Fabiana Caruana played this line with white, and instead of h3, he castled alongside castle, and black, which was Milanovic, replied bishop g4, and on the 42nd move, black managed to win. So Sophie played correctly h3. She continues to look for this trade on g4, and I played f6. In order for you to understand how dangerous this position for black is, we have to look at the variation with the e6 move instead of the f6. After e6, white will play immediately d5, and and this position will actually collapse because black cannot take with the e-pawn because white has the discovered check bishop takes g7, so he has to take with the c-pawn, and after c takes d5, bishop takes d5. White's position is very dangerous and black will not able to finish his development. So instead of e6 I played f6. Actually I analyzed this position at home, and here I thought that the strongest reply for white here is bishop to h2, sacrificing the second pawn on h3, which I would have taken if this position would arise on the board. Instead, Sophie played bishop c7, which I also analyzed at home. I played queen to f7, and here Sophie made a mistake. She overlooked, I think, my next move. She played alongside castle. Instead, she had to play d5, the move that I analyzed at home. I would reply e5, and here after d takes c6, queen takes c7, c takes b7, bishop takes b7, queen b5 check, king e7, bishop takes b7, rook b8, queen b4 check, king e6, queen b3 check, king e7, queen b4 check. The perpetual check is possible, and it would be a draw. After alongside castle, I played queen takes a2. And only here I think Sophie realized that after bishop takes h5 check, which I think she was planning to play when she was castling, I have a move king to d7. She has to retreat her bishop from c7, for example, to g3, and after that I have a check on a1, king has to go to d2, and I will play queen a5 check, and her bishop on h5 will be hanging and will be lost. So Sophie cannot take on h5, and instead she played d5, which is the correct way to try to complicate things in this position. But after g6, another blunder by Sophie was played. She forgot to look for the main idea for the move g6. Actually, by playing g6, I not only defending my pawn on h5, but at the same time I'm threatening to play bishop h6 with a devastating effect. So she had to try to defend somehow from this check, even though it's not that easy, but she could have played bishop to g2 with the idea after bishop h6 to play f4. Of course, after bishop g2 I would have played queen a1 check, king d2, queen takes b2, and I'm already 3 pawns up, but at least the game is not over, and since my king is also in the center and my pieces are still not properly developed, she might have had some chance to complicate things. But instead she played d takes c6, which of course mistake, since after bishop h6 check, which I played in the game, she either have to give up her queen, which is of course losing as well. Instead, Sophie decided to finish this game in a nicer way by playing rook to d2 and giving me an opportunity to checkmate white's king after playing queen a1 checkmate. If you like the way I commented this game, you can get my new DVD, in which I comment all the games of the World Championship, which led me to become the 12th Women's World Chess Champion last fall. It includes a full documentary feature of the championship and contains over 3 hours of commented games, including every single game I played at the World Championship. Watching this DVD will increase your understanding of chess. I guarantee it. It's on sale on www.chessqueen.com for only $19.99. Bye bye!